So a lot of you guys are familiar with ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT. I use it. I think that it's a great platform. I don't think that I've even leveraged how powerful it can be, or artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is basically powering everything that we have going on in society today. Well, Sam Altman was the founder, and he was also the CEO of OpenAI, which is basically the company that powered and launched ChatGPT. Sam Altman was fired, ladies and gentlemen, then rehired. But before we get to the rehiring, let me bring you guys up to speed of what was happening over these past couple of days over the weekend, and I couldn't wait to share this for you. So this is the part of the show that I really love. The getting into the money, the politics when it comes to corporate America, the fighting, the leverage that people want as far as controlling a specific company. This is what happened over this past weekend with Sam Altman, who was basically the founder of OpenAI, which launched ChatGPT.
Major breaking news related to OpenAI. Steve Kovac joins us now. This is a stunner in some respects, Steve.
Yeah, Sam Altman is out as CEO of OpenAI. We just got this announcement, Scott. I'll read you directly from the release, the board saying, quote, Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise responsibility. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. No details about what was said or what wasn't said or what this communication was about. They are naming their chief technology officer, Mira Murati, as a interim CEO for the time being. But of course, this has more implications beyond just OpenAI. Microsoft, of course, major investor in OpenAI, owning a significant part of that company as well. I've reached out to Microsoft for comment, and I'll get back to you if we hear anything, Scott.
Well, I mean, I can just tell you as we're having this conversation, Steve, that, the minute this thing started to filter out, Microsoft shares started to fall. Yeah. They're down near 2% now, I suppose for obvious reasons, because of that relationship that these two companies, which have had, which, let's be honest, put Microsoft into the driver's seat. In the way that the market has taken it from step one.
Yeah, and Sam Altman was very much the face of this company, right? He was just at the Apex Summit meeting with everyone there, along with the top tech CEOs, including Satya Nadella, including folks like Apple's Tim Cook. So he is, very much at the forefront of this company. I was in Congress, Scott, back in May. He was the one who testified in front of Congress talking about AI regulation. He's the guy to go to. He has been at the forefront of this AI boom we've been seeing more than any other company, more than any other person, and he is now out. Of course, we're dying for details of what exactly happened here, but up until this week, he was still the face of the company and really out there promoting this technology. Just even just a week ago, they had a big event, and he was there giving the keynote speech in a very Steve Jobsian way, showing new features for what's coming at OpenAI and ChatGPT. So it's unclear what the future is here, but yeah, you see Microsoft now down 2% on this news, Scott.
So this is what happened over the weekend, and reportedly, the CEO of Microsoft, which invested over $12 billion, not million, billion with a B. Microsoft, which is largely being powered by, and shout out to sister, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Thank you. I love you. Microsoft, which I am a heavy, heavy investor. Microsoft, let me be very, very candid and why this is meaningful to me. Microsoft takes up about 25 to 28% of my portfolio, my investment portfolio as far as the stocks that I'm invested in, my brokerage account. Microsoft takes up well over 25% of my portfolio and has been the best performing stock that I have as far as blue chip stocks in my portfolio for this year. Microsoft is booming, and I mean booming. And part of the reason why Microsoft is booming is because not only do they have a great CEO and phenomenal business model, but also because they've leveraged their investment in certain platforms, including OpenAI, which was a $12 billion investment, and they largely lean into Sam Altman, which was the founder of OpenAI, to continue to power the models that is then allowing for them to be able to capitalize financially and also leveraging the value of that company in order to continue to be successful. And so the CEO of Microsoft was pissed that all of this went off. And this is so bad that I was just reading an article this morning that so many people are quitting OpenAI because this was a coup and they fired him and they didn't know what the fallback or the blowback was going to be as a result of it. So many people are angry at this that there's allegedly about 500 employees that are looking to quit OpenAI in protest of the fact that Sam Altman was fired. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. But before I get over into communicating that with you guys, I want to share with you guys what recently happened as of 2 hours ago this morning. 2 hours ago this morning, this is what recently happened with Sam Altman after being ousted. Steve Jobs style. A lot of people are not familiar with Steve Jobs' story and his early history with Apple, but when he was ousted before he came back into the company, this is basically what happened as of 2 hours ago this morning.
Breaking news overnight after being fired from OpenAI on Friday, Sam Altman has a new gig now with Microsoft. Steve Kovac joins us with the latest twists and turns in this ongoing saga.
Yeah, twists and turns is an understatement, Andrew. So look, ousted OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is not going to be returning to the company following that drama-filled weekend that rocked Silicon Valley and put Microsoft's leadership in AI at risk. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announcing early this morning Altman will join Microsoft as the head of a new AI research division, along with Greg Brockman, an OpenAI co-founder and former board member who quit in solidarity with Altman back on Friday. On the OpenAI side, the startup has its third leader since Friday. Board named Emmett Shear, most recently CEO of Twitch, as interim CEO. He's replacing Mira Murati, OpenAI's CTO, who was named interim CEO after Altman's firing on Friday.
So the interim CEO, which was a woman, that was basically making the day-to-day decisions as the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer, briefly filled the position of OpenAI CEO once Sam Altman was fired. The CEO of Microsoft was so pissed, and he's such a fan of Sam Altman that he already hired him within 2 days to go over to Microsoft to lead their AI research team. That's power. People were so aligned with this guy, and they so aligned with Sam Altman that even his people that co-founded the company with him and several different employees already defected and said they following him wherever it is that they go. The former CEO of Twitch is now, or the co-founder of Twitch, Emmett Shear, is now the interim CEO of OpenAI. So now we have a decision to make, ladies and gentlemen. But let me play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to continue to have this conversation.
Reportedly staying at the startup for now, but there's some questions about that. So look,
somebody said, how much is Microsoft stock these days? The last time I checked, it was like $371 a share, $371 a share, something like that. Good question.
On Friday, blowback coming out from investors, including Microsoft, which owns a big stake it bought in a deal worth $10 billion. Those investors pushed for Altman's reinstatement, with Nadella taking a key role in the negotiations, but OpenAI board refused to restructure itself as Altman demanded as a condition of his return. And instead of losing Altman and Brockman if they started a new AI startup, Microsoft brought them in-house. Now, it's still unclear what this means for OpenAI and the relationship with Microsoft. Microsoft relies on OpenAI technology for its own AI products. Trouble at OpenAI could limit Microsoft's ability to push out new features and stay ahead of Google and others in this AI race. And it's going to take time for Altman to build a team at Microsoft, focused still on OpenAI getting its house in order. I will say for now, guys, Microsoft is standing with its relationship with OpenAI, saying they support this new interim CEO. But look, it's bringing Altman in is kind of a signal that they may be ready to just push him aside and say no more drama.
Now, you got to take into consideration a couple different things when we evaluating this from a financial perspective. This is a race all across the board. And I mean, when I say a race, it's an arms race, an early arms race. You're seeing the infancy of AI technology. AI technology can be used in a multitude of different ways, and it's a race both visibly and silently across all of these different companies. And Microsoft largely basically received a coup because of their early investment in OpenAI, and that the release of ChatGPT and then leveraging that information in order to continue to power Microsoft ambitions made the company much more valuable. And also it got a valuation of over 80 billion the last time that I checked of what OpenAI is. But a lot of that is based off of Sam Altman. Now, who was Sam Altman to OpenAI and ChatGPT? Well, Sam Altman's importance to these companies, according to a lot of the different people within the company, is very similar to the importance of Elon Musk to Tesla, right? Their fortunes are very much tied. The loyalty of a lot of the people that work at these companies is all based off of their belief in the CEO, which made it very, very weird for them to oust him in the first place and then make a power play to try to take over the company as a result of getting rid of him, right? And again, this is one of the myths, and this is a easy conversation to have with you guys, because a lot of you guys think that just because you're the CEO, and we had this conversation last week, somebody said, oh, they're the CEO, the CEO does not necessarily mean that you have absolute power. He was a founder, a CEO, but then when you give other people equity into the company, it then gives them the position or the authority to be able to control what happens with the company. Now, you may make the day-to-day decisions. You may make the hiring decisions. You may be forging a path for the direction of the company, right? The founder of the company, you understand it intimately, but it does not mean that you have total control. So stop thinking that just because you're the CEO or the co-founder, that means that you have absolute power and control of what goes on in the company. No. Once the company is bought into, once other people have equity in it, if it becomes a IPO, which is an initial public offering, meaning that it then becomes a company that is publicly traded, it means that you are just an employee just like everybody else, but you may have a vested interest in that company becoming successful because you may have shares or equity into the company. But that does not necessarily mean that you are controlling everything that happens into the company. It's the board members, it's the chairman, it's the shareholders. Those are your bosses, okay? What I like from Microsoft, and this is one of the reasons why I love the company, and that I think that their CEO is probably one of the best CEOs right alongside Tim Cook, as any company that you see happening that's publicly traded, is that he said, listen, I'm not letting this guy start his own company. I'm not even going to entertain a possibility of him going somewhere else. We're going to give him whatever it is that he wants to keep him in-house. The question that we need to ask ourselves is this: is Microsoft going to make a play to then remove themselves, because they are still interdependent on OpenAI in order to continue to power whatever their long-term venture or a lot of the things that they have happening within their company from an AI perspective? The question that we have to ask ourselves is Microsoft eventually going to put themselves in a position to make a play to continue to divest themselves from it once Sam Altman then builds his team up, if he never goes back over to OpenAI? Or is Microsoft in a position as a power player within the company to then put him back in a position and then move out all of the different politics and all of the different people that wanted him ousted from what's happening within the company in order to continue to go down the path that they're going down already originally, right? It's crazy. But politics, power plays, and it all comes back down to power and the money of what's going on in all of these publicly traded companies, or these companies that are invested, or these companies that you see in the headlines. All of it is politics. All of it comes back down to the money. But I believe in Microsoft. I think that they are one of the best ran companies. I think that they are the best ran company. I think that Microsoft is the best ran company in the United States of America right now. The best ran technology company anyways. Right alongside Apple and Netflix. So I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm going to pay attention to it. Again, full disclosure, I am not a financial consultant, so I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I'm also very open and honest about the fact that Microsoft consumes about 28% of my brokerage account as far as the individual stocks that I'm invested in. Somewhere between 25 and 28%. I actually increased my position over the weekend and this morning. So I love Microsoft. It's probably always going to be a part of my portfolio. Somebody was right. It is a dividend company, meaning that it pays dividends every quarter. And it is a great company. It's one of the best companies ever. So